Did you know that in the life of a high-performance athlete, every season is a new start? These 5 months of races are the most intense for sure in the year of an athlete. But this is just the expression of all the hard work behind the races, this capability to create a project, to build himself not only as an athlete, but also as a human.
C'était pas inné chez lui. Tous ceux qui le croient, ils se mettent le doigt, mais vraiment profond dans l'œil.
Dans l'œil, il a dit.
J'ai dit dans l'œil. Parce que Maxime, c'était beaucoup de travail et de persévérance. Et il a un caractère qui s'adapte à ça. Sans son caractère, il ne serait pas. Je pense que...
Caractère de cochon.
De Maroc.
Un caractère de marotte.
Yeah, the passion came definitely from my father because he was riding a lot normal bikes, and this is how the passion went into me. I think it's in my genes in the end. When I got a bike, I just enjoyed it straight away, and my father was taking me in the forest to do some loops and stuff.
Le vélo était 100 fois trop grand. Première fois que tu vois Maxime sur un VTT, c'était là.
Just passionate since the beginning, but of course to be a pro rider was a big dream.
Now Maxime around to break.
Alsace is a really special place for me because this is where I was born in '86, and especially in Mulhouse, which is my town, because I still have a lot of support from the town, and I still really enjoy to be there because I have my friends. My father is still there, and of course it was important for me to get married in this place.
J'ai réussi à caler
Luckily, Madame said yes.
Non mais du coup c'est plus gros que là, donc tu vois là ça...
Ah bah forcément, là tu peux plus l'enlever.
Ah non mais là si je veux pas
Charlotte, tu peux plus l'enlever jamais.
Ah, et là, il l'enlève.
No, my friends and also my wife are not really into cycling. They are from another world, and for me it's very important because then for the brain, for your mindset, at one point you need to go out of this bubble.
Et après il a plus jamais retouché à son vélo. Si, il en a fait 3 semaines, il s'est fait lâcher.
It's important to find the balance, to have kind of a normal life, and helps you and to reach your goal then on the bike. You realize even more the chance you have to be a pro athlete.
Enfin, la prochaine sera loin, putain, c'était vraiment à 2 doigts. Hein.
Oui, mais bon, voilà, c'est comme ça. Mais non, l'objectif c'est de revenir aux médailles de Tokyo.
Ça serait bien. Hein.
Ah bah ça c'est sûr.
When we approach the Olympic year, it's crazy how the people are questioning about that.
À la prochaine et puis...
Because I finished fourth in the last Olympic Games in Rio, I think people have quite high expectation concerning myself, but it motivates me a lot. I just try to turn it as a positive thing. A day without thinking about mountain bike doesn't exist in my life. First ride of the new season. After 5 weeks of holidays, finally I'm back on the bike. I mean, today is just having fun, good time. And the guys here are shaping all the year, especially if you are living around this area. This is the mountain. This is, I think, why we are cross-country riders. We enjoy to suffer a lot in the climbs. We also love to go down and to be on the edge, to feel the adrenaline. Most of the riders, we are like this, and this is also the reason why I'm still in this sport and I never made it on the road, because I think you just lose this part of the job, which is really, really cool. First ride with the ring.
Les herbiers. C'est ma première Coupe de France. Ma première Coupe de France, les herbiers, c'est en Vendée. Là.
Les herbiers,
Ouais. 108e. Voilà, première Coupe de France, comme quoi.
Because I wasn't the best in the club in the beginning, I wasn't the best in Alsace, I wasn't the best in France when I was junior. Finally, step by step, you just go and finally end up on the podium of a World Cup.
Les protections de hockey, ça coûtait 2 fois moins cher que les protections de vélo en fait. On avait récupéré un casque, je sais pas où.
C'est de moto, c'est un de moto.
C'est l'épreuve de descente avec une gourde quand même, tu vois. L'optimisation de la performance, c'était pas ça. À l'époque, les descentes étaient longues, donc tu pouvais avoir soif, mais avec le casque intégral, c'était quand même compliqué.
Passion. Cycling in general, because I love also different kinds of bikes, was just a passion for me. I would say I had 2 passions in my life. That was cycling and motorsport.
J'avais mon stage en Formule 1 en moto. Puis j'avais même pris la photo de ma moto.
Yeah, motorbikes helps me to just think about something different and to have still this feeling of discovering something. A good training can't be just sacrifices. You need a bit of fun, you need to love what you do, and if you are suffering all the time, it doesn't make sense. Creates a different environment and I go out my comfort zone, so I think it's quite interesting dealing with the speed, with the danger, how you react, how fast you react. Motorbikes I think is also a really good training.
Il était plus détendu que ça à Rio. Non mais en vrai ça fait pas peur, enfin un petit peu mais... Ouais, c'est parce que tu maîtrises pas, c'est pour ça que ça fait stresser.
I need to keep training and I enjoy this time of the year to do it with some friends who are also some competitors on the World Cup, like Victor for example, yeah.
Ensemble, là on est souvent seul et quand on peut être à plusieurs c'est toujours mieux, c'est plus motivant quoi. On profite de partager et de faire des trucs avec les autres quoi. L'hiver quand tu peux être avec des gens c'est toujours cool quand même.
Il a l'air content. Je suis en wheeling pendant 100 mètres là. Je suis comme ça.
I think it's just human beings to, at one point when you feel that this guy is nice and you are on the same line and you just want to share good moments. There is a difference in between being on the start line, wanted to beat them, and just be friends. I mean, there is the race and there is the normal life, and in the end we are spending so much time on the roads everywhere in the world. It's really cool to have some good friends like this. I think we can, on a motorbike with Victor, create something cool and gonna help each other later. After the long break I had this winter, almost 2 months, not really riding or working on my body, it was just have fun and working on the technical skills. So the real start is the South Africa training camp.
Now time to stop motorbike, but just to be back in the serious business.
When I have to pack my stuff, I feel really excited. I don't even know how many times I travel in a year, a lot. And it's a mix of excitation and just the feeling that you are coming back and preparing something big.